All right, welcome back, everybody. This is Bram LeGroux on Thursday. If you are in my side of the world, which is Australia, down under as we call it. So appreciate you guys joining in. We are with, let's say, this week we have opened up the Business Development Accelerator. Yes, it is typically something that we only do a few times in a year to basically help people with everything which pertains to traditional business development as well as digital business development. Now, today, we're basically doing two things here. It's answering the most frequently asked questions. We've had several people that submitted, all sorts of questions that they have regarding business development nowadays, the challenges that they were experiencing and so on. So we have that already prepared for you. Also, we're also giving away full access passes to the 4 lessons that I shared in the last 2 weeks, which is all about helping people that are either client-facing business owners or business development managers to basically help them to create a great business and also a great lifestyle simultaneously. And I think sometimes people get caught up in either or thinking. You either have a great business, but you don't have a life, or you have a great life, but you don't have a great business. And so the idea is the two combined. I always like to say that we can work smarter, not just harder. Working harder is not a recipe for sustainable growth. People typically like to have a little bit of fun. They also like to have a life outside of work or outside of their businesses. And obviously, we've got people that we want to look after and spend time with. And that, again, requires a good work-life balance. So what we're going to do, again, is, first of all, I'm going to, let's say, go back to the comments. I'm going to, first of all, if everything worked well, you should see now the comment that says, missed the 4 lessons earlier, get your free all access pass now at, and then it shows you my website. It is basically 4 lessons that we touched on in the last 2 weeks. First one was, you and I have a great opportunity right now to capitalize and leverage on the various tools and opportunities that you have at your disposal right now. And so if you're really looking to create a great business and a great lifestyle, in lesson 1, I explain you a little bit more about the what, the how, and give you 5 compelling reasons to actually get serious about this opportunity right now. In lesson number 2, I shared you also 4 steps on how to create success by design, because a lot of people sometimes get, let's say, challenged by not having clarity about what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, when they're going to do it, what sort of metrics to use, what does success look like, who are ideal clients, who aren't ideal clients, how are we going to spend our time? There's all these questions really that require clarity. And if we don't have clarity, guess what happens? We basically start getting busy being busy without being busy being productive. There's a world of difference between the two. You want to be busy being productive, of course, but it requires clarity and foresight, first of all. And so that is exactly how I help people in lesson number 2 create clarity in terms of what does success look like for you with your business, with the goals that you've got inside your business and outside your business. How can you really make the most of that? Success starts really with clarity up front. And then it is a journey that you're embarking on and want to sustain long enough in order to get to the outcome. So in lesson number 3, we then covered also the 5 steps to create what I call great cash flow or rising cash flow. I'm not sure about you, but I have certainly been in my business, especially in my consulting days, which I've done for 9 years, where cash flow was really lumpy. It was up and down. It had peaks and troughs. And as long as, let's say, the revenue is higher than the costs, it's okay. But as soon as, let's say, it kind of takes a little bit of a dip, especially in a down season, or when, for example, COVID happens, or something else happens, emergencies, or you're out of action, or your staff are out of action. There's all these times when suddenly your outgoings might be higher than your incoming, and so that's when it becomes a bit tricky. I remember last time speaking to a business owner who admitted that over the Christmas holiday season, he had actually gotten into his personal super fund to access money to inject back into the business so that he could keep up with wages and could keep up paying staff and looking after all the expenses and so on. And so these are the things that especially small business owners very often face. They have skin in the game, they've got their reputation on the line, they've got their livelihoods on the line. And I can highly empathize with you guys if this is the case. And even if you're as a business development manager, I think you're going to get a lot of value from Business Development Accelerator as such. I just think, oh yeah, and then the last lesson, there's 4, of course. The last lesson that I shared with you guys in previous weeks, which again, you can access through the link bramlagru.com/all-access-pass, all access pass after my website. Then you will basically get access to all 4 videos, including all the download PDFs for you with some really great content. I've had already several people saying that it was wonderful. It helped them tremendously. And I'm sure it will be of benefit to you as well. The last puzzle in the piece was then basically about, well, after all that, how do you put it all together? How can you take the next step from here? And it touched also on how Business Development Accelerator might be helpful for you. Let me just quick shout out. If you haven't gotten this thing yet, it's sometimes a bit hard to see with these with the green screens and all of that sort of stuff. But this is a book. I've written it back in 2015. We have free copies for you available. If you haven't got it yet, please go to my website, which you can easily read, bramlagru.com. You see my name there on the screen. So if you just go to bramlagru.com, you will find an opportunity for you to download that free resource completely for free. It's over there. Anyway, that being aside, let's look at some of the questions that people have asked us earlier. I touched on it already yesterday in the previous live stream, but like one question, for example, that I thought was good to come back to today was the following. It was in the second last page. There was quite a few ones. I went through it very quickly yesterday, and I hope it was of value. Now, one of them was really interesting. So this is a business owner that said, the 2 biggest challenges that we have in business development are continuous lead generation without spending thousands of dollars on social media marketing, and a methodology of creating raving fan referrals from current clients without directly asking clients for referrals. Well, let's just touch on the first one here, the continuous lead generation. I highly recommend you to always look at 2 ways to do it. One is where you basically are the workhorse yourself, and the second one is where you are finding a workhorse that is digital. So you're combining basically the best of 2 worlds, one which is traditional business development, as well as one which is digital business development. In the first case, you do the things that typically help you to create new leads. And by and large, most of the time, if you're looking for, let's say, a controlled environment where you can create the right type of demand from the right type of buyers or clients in this case, then you would probably want to really get good at networking, at having coffee meetings that actually help you to go some places, and also potentially using the phone as a friend to book meetings with the right people. Those 3 activities, I still see that they are undervalued in the workplace. Very few people get really good at either one of them, let alone all 3. But from a traditional business development sense, that is it. Of course, combined with referrals, which is the other question which we will be handling separately. But so those 4 is really, how can you create a steady stream of incoming leads and opportunities for business? That is really the first one. The second one, though, is that digital piece. And especially after the changes that Apple, used in terms of iOS 14 updates, we have seen that everybody who used to do, let's say, sponsored ads on social media like Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube and so on, that they really have been set back by these changes, because suddenly the software cannot track anymore who's doing what and can't install the cookies as much as they did previously, and basically keep a track of what websites and what pages people look at and so on and so forth. So with that being said, it means that suddenly ad spend has gone up most of the time. Effectiveness has actually gone down. So you're basically spending more money for less opportunities. And so here's what I have to say about that. I've basically have worked myself in this area for the last few years. We've done more and more, and we've tried different things even before and after those changes that Apple made. And we have consistently still generated leads at a decent, let's say, ad spend, and are making money that way. And so you can really get some good things on the board, especially if you go with a slow, let's say, a slow but surely approach. I like the slow but surely approach rather than instantly grabbing people's attention and making them an offer on something, which too often is done, where, people say, hey, this used to be that much money, and if you buy it today, it's $97, and that's what pops up on LinkedIn on Facebook, for example. And you know what? Guess what? It's straight away going for a transaction rather than building a relationship. And I think business development, especially the traditional way, we know that it happens by building a relationship, by investing in the people's emotional bank accounts, by building the trust, building the rapport, listening to people, understanding where they're coming from, and then providing some insights into how they can address the problems and get a solution. And so this is basically the same approach that I have been taking in recent times since those changes online with Facebook ad spend and so on. And that actually is proving to go very, very well. You give a lot of value up front. You, for example, give people an opportunity to download a free resource like an article or an ebook or something else like a questionnaire or cheat sheet or something like that with a lot of valuable content in it. And it's a great way to start a relationship. So I see it as you open up the door and that's when it starts. But then, of course, you need to have your systems, your processes lined up so that you can keep adding value to these people and help them move from what is initially a cold lead into a warm lead, and then eventually into a lead that is willing to say, you know what, your name, I'm happy now to do business with you, and let's just, start a relationship, a transactional relationship already from here. That is basically what we've been doing. Already in the last few days, we got over 300 leads that came in since the start of April, and at a very low ad spend of 63 cents at the moment, and it's working well. And that is things that you can do as well, because if you really bring the two worlds together, traditional business development and let's say the digital side of things, and you pair them up, you've got all systems and processes lined up. Guess what? You're having a hybrid business development model, which can really work a treat. So that is basically my answer to that first question there. I appreciate, again, you guys submitting the question. Any thought, by the way, or question that you have right now, just post them below the video in whatever platform that you might see it, which is either Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, and I'll respond to it as soon as I can. The second question that this person here asked was about the methodology of creating raving fan referrals from current clients. And it's funny, we just actually finished off a business development accelerator group, and the graduates, they had basically a similar question in the last session, which was like, well, how do we really get more referrals? Because sometimes it feels a bit weird and awkward, and our clients don't always respond very well, even though they love our products or services. They love it, but they're not always as forthcoming in terms of giving referrals. Guess what? It's like everything else. The more you systemize your business in a way where referral, or let's say the request for referrals is baked into your approach, the easier it is for you to get referrals. For example, what you could do is create a survey while you are delivering your services or your products to your existing clients. As part of your process, in a certain time frame, you will just check in with them, keep your finger to the pulse, and ask them specifically how they are going with it all. So you could have a series of questions there that are all about the existing customer experience. How do you like it? What can we improve? On a scale from 0 to 10, how easily would you refer us to or recommend us to other people that are looking for something similar to this? It's all these sorts of questions. They're all about how can we improve? What do you think of our products? Where can we make some tweaks? What are you happy with? What wasn't really working that well? You basically want to learn from them. That's step one. A second step then is where you could basically come back to the question, which is more about the net promoter score, and say, like, how easily would you refer us to other people based on your experience so far? And as soon as they hit that 8, 9, or 10 out of 10 mark, guarantee that when you ask the next question on the third page, or the third step, so to speak, then you could basically then ask them directly, well, who else would you, knowing that you scored us as high as 8 or 9 or 10 out of 10, Who do you believe could benefit from this exact same solution? And then you give them an opportunity to add people's details. I see that when you do this, very often you create an opportunity not just to learn and improve, but also to create the referrals on the back end of this process. And so the same you can do as well. So systemize your referral requests. It's a great way to do it. If you happen to be part of a referral based organization such as BNI, Business Network International, there you basically have an opportunity to do that 52 times a year, once a week, every week for the entire week, entire year, of course. So that's another way that you could do it. That's it. I think that's basically a couple of questions that I wanted to touch on. Now, for people that are curious to know what the frequently asked questions are regarding business development, first things first, people ask me, well, who is it for? It is specifically for people that are client-facing and have let's say, have an incentive to create more business. And so whether you are a business owner, you are a consultant, you are a business development manager, you're a sales professional of some kind, you work for yourself or for someone else, as long as you are incentivized or your job or your responsibility is to drum up new business, you might even be a project manager. That even works still. The thing is, that is basically what Business Development Accelerator is for. Now, the second question is, well, what is it all? Well, it is a 10-week accelerating process whereby people modify their existing sales process, or call it their business development approach, in a way that is backed by science to have better results by making those tweaks. We've had now 12 years worth of experience in this very domain. We have had already people in the accelerator graduating from countries like USA, Canada, Europe as well, upcoming again, Australia and New Zealand, and so on and so forth. And we can definitely see that the results are really working, but it takes time for people to get their head around, to change their mindset, to bust through self-limiting beliefs, to develop new habits, to enrich themselves with new ideas on how to do things, then have help with the implementation of a new plan, get clarity about what success looks like and how they're going to succeed, get clarity about what are the high value activities and what are not the high value activities. Because it's okay to procrastinate on the latter, but you don't want to procrastinate on the very things that really amount to the biggest success in business development. And so it's about prioritizing the right things. Having clarity about all of that is what exactly Business Development Accelerator helps to provide. Plus, then it helps to implement it over a 10-week intensive duration. People sometimes ask me, well, how would I know whether or not this is right for me? And there's 5 things that I want to share with you on that. First things first is, if you're struggling to try to scale while maintaining a work-life balance, that would be one of the reasons why you would say, you know what, let's get serious about this. The second thing is, if you're struggling to generate new business while you're looking after your existing clients because you're in a services-based business, that's another good reason why this can really work a treat for you. The third reason would be if you're challenged by streamlining processes in such a way that you will work smarter, not just harder. The thing is, we all have only 24 hours a day. And of that time, you need to sleep, rest, rejuvenate, spend some downtime, have some fun time with your spouse and significant others, look after catch up with your friends, look after yourself in your health-wise. So there's not a lot of time really that you have at your disposal to work smart. Therefore, less is more. So the more you focus on less things that amount to more results in the back end, the easier it is for you to have a perfect work-life balance. Sometimes people think, I have to work long hours to be successful, but guess what? You don't. That's one of those myths that we are debunking here and then. In fact, one of my clients, he works 20 hours a week and he's doing really well. He's actually one of the top people in his industry. And so can you. Number 4, then, what is another reason why this could be worthwhile for you? If you're struggling to put money to work for you, once again, if you keep chasing money and you keep working for money, money is your master and you are its slave. And a lot of services-based professionals get caught up in this sort of situation. It doesn't have to be that way. You can really find ways to work smarter and make sure that you got things in place that create money, even if you're not there, and even if you are holidaying and so on. And so again, that's just by structuring it in a really smart way. The last thing here is if you're looking for a peer group of people that are either at the same level as you or at a higher level, so that you can raise your personal standards. Imagine now how much that can contribute in itself already to your success in the future. So those are the 5 reasons why Business Development Accelerator might be very helpful for you. And I'm also going to share now another answer to a frequently asked question, which is, how does it work, Brian? Like, let's just say that I'm open to this. And let's just say that I'd like to work with you here on this. Let's say, how does it all work? Well, there's 8 ingredients that really make it a very successful combination. The first one is that it incorporates a proven pathway. Like I said, I've been working as a trainer, coach, and consultant in the area of business development, working with small business all the way to multinationals and your big 4, yeah, and everything in between for the last 12 years. We've tried a lot of things. We know what works. We know what doesn't work. And it also is backed by science. My background is in psychology. That's exactly the angle that I take when I'm helping clients to put themselves in the shoes of prospects and clients, when I help them to really empathize and tune in, how to read the audience, how to relate to people in their own way. All these nitty-gritty things that are, for most people, kind of different, yeah, is what we teach and what we help our people and what we coach them on. So it's an A to Z success system. The second thing, it incorporates a lot of valuable tools. Now, tools of the trade in business development is, for example, having a meeting magic prep sheet. A meeting magic prep sheet helps you to basically prepare for important meetings in any stages of the buying cycle within 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah. And that small amount of time is gold, because we've seen that our students have basically gone and achieved some amazing results and very high conversion rates. So if you're looking for better conversion ratios, this is again part of what we provide. Another tool, for example, that we use is scripts. If you're looking to have somebody call on your behalf to book meetings with the right people, call it cold calling or telemarketing. If you want to do something like that, we have trialed, improved, and perfected the fine art of cold calling, and have had great new businesses come on board as a result by just having a good script to work with. These scripts are available to our Business Development Accelerator students. Another one is, for example, tools that we use, which is AI software. Yes, it is really Big Brother is watching, online. People can have right now basically just one press of a button and basically analyze people that they're about to meet with a single click of a button. And those people are not even aware of it. And these sorts of tools are available to you as well as you would become a Business Development Accelerator member. The next one is coaching. One thing that I've learned in my last 12 years, and actually 17 years as a professional in the training industry, even as an employee beforehand, is that training only goes as far. We all know it. We've been to seminars and conferences where we had 1 or 2 days and it was rah, rah, rah. And, you got hyped up and you got great ideas and you walked out feeling very excited and motivated. But then the hard reality of normal business and everyday life kicks in. And you got all sorts of things to go back to, and all best of intentions to, make some changes, just kind of slip back and normal life takes over. And then, of course, you cannot really sustain any changes that way because the change was too short-lived. Therefore, no habits formation happens, and therefore results basically slack off again to normal levels. And so this is why in the Business Development Accelerator, we are incorporating 10 weeks of intensive coaching to help people apply what's important, to make the tweaks under guidance necessary, and also have homework and application so that ultimately people are making the changes day by day, week by week over a 10-week duration. Now, once they come out of the 10-week accelerator, then we continue providing further on support and coaching and guidance every single month thereafter. And so that sort of coaching is, of course, really crucial. Then there's live events, the ones that I just touched on. Once we come out of the 10 weeks, there's live events happening on the back end on topics selected by members for members. So if we suddenly have several members saying, hey, Bram, we need help with, let's say, with networking. We're just going to networking functions again, and we've noticed that we really aren't getting a lot of headway in this area. Could you show us a couple of tricks on how to really make our networking turn into better results? Okay, let's go to work on networking. If you need to be more like, if you're less of a direct business development manager and more of a project manager, for example, which we work a lot with, yes, then you're not necessarily a salesperson or a BDM as such. And therefore, it's more about like, how can we coach clients to influence their decision-making so that they're open to taking on an extra solution as a product or a service later on without being salesy about it. Okay, we can work on that. These are all topics that people bring to the table and that we then again incorporate into our monthly webinars for members only. Then obviously when people cannot attend the live events, being online or even in person, then there's always the event recordings that people have access to as part of their membership, which again makes things easy. So you can always go back and revisit and then engage from there. Next part, which is number 6, is community. We definitely noticed that since COVID happened, that people have become more aware of needing a social environment to thrive and really leveraging off and feeding off each other's energy, ideas, being able to bounce ideas off, receive feedback, and so on, and get challenged even. And I noticed that the more we provide community to our clients, the better it is for everyone, because everybody is learning by watching each other, sharing with each other, celebrating each other's wins, learning also from what didn't work, and trying to help each other out in this supportive environment. Very, very important right now. Number 7 is accountability. If you have been trying to do things on your own and you have little structure or support or guidance, well, then of course, having a place and a coach that allows you to be accountable so that it doesn't stop with you, but where you basically can feed off this accountability, it of course helps you to raise your level, do more, be smarter, and get better results. And that is all about accountability. And the last but not least is support. We always have support either through the existing members as peers, as well as through me or a success coach, where we are basically available on email, in our community, and also in the webinars and the live events, just to help you with anything that you require in order to go from here to there. All right, that's basically it. Okay, I think we covered a lot already. Once again, if you would like to learn more about the Business Development Accelerator, it's a really good idea to go to the website that I already shared earlier, where you not only have the free lessons that I shared earlier with you and the downloads that would help you, but also the information about Business Development Accelerator. And that is at bramlagru.com/all-access-pass, all access pass at the end of that. If you go there, you'll get all the resources, free ones, as well as information about the Business Development Accelerator. Now, I again would like to urge you that this time is really special because we have created an opportunity for people to become a lifetime member with a once-off investment. And I think that in itself, that bonus is gold. Why? Because you might be 10 years with us and have 10 years worth of coaching and 10 years worth of networking and building relationships with this community and 10 years worth of support. And all you do is pay one time or in a payment plan initially without having the ongoing fees. Most subscriptions that you and I have in terms of our phones, Office 365, your rent, your Netflix, your whatever, your other software subscriptions that you might have, all of them keep charging you money. And with the Business Development Accelerator, for 30 companies only, we are creating an opportunity to come on board as a lifetime member and benefit from it for a lifetime without paying a cent more than what we agreed on at the front end, so to speak. That in itself is gold. Once we basically are Friday, we're basically closing the doors at 11:59 PM ACDT, that is South Australian time. we're basically closing the doors. Why? Because the way that it works with our classes in Business Development Accelerator is that we then induct members. The induction is actually happening on Monday, first thing. So we will be inducting our new members on Monday in terms of what's going to happen, how to prepare for it, getting access to them, to all the training portals, the community, and so on and so forth, and basically telling them how it's going to happen. And then we're closing the doors. We're going to work with them, and there's no room for anybody else to come on board for the next, let's say, accelerator until we open it up again in the future. And so we are now already filling up nicely. We have currently people from the USA, from Canada, from Australia, from the UK, from Spain, from Germany, Austria, Denmark, El Salvador. We have people from all sorts of places, from different companies already joined in, and there's still a little bit of room left for a few more people that are proactive. It's people that are leaders that see an opportunity for what it is, recognize it, and then take the action consistent with it. So if this is you, love to see you in the accelerator. Again, today it is still all access passes to show you, already giving you a little bit of an insight in terms of how we can help you in your business, either as a business owner or a business development manager or a consultant or a trusted advisor of some kind. And that is basically what we do. So we want to earn your trust. We want to show value. And should you at any point in time, let's say, be wary of it and say, hey, look, what if, it doesn't kind of work out for me, or it's different to what I thought? I'd like to share with you that we have a 30-day full money back guarantee should you decide that it isn't right for you after you make the decision to come on board. So that is, again, showing, it's us showing that we are serious about what we do, that we want to earn your trust, and that we value your business, and that we obviously also have to deliver value to you. And that's just basically fair exchange between you and us here working with you as your coach in Business Development Accelerator. I'm just thinking if there's any further questions that I have. Once again, if you want to have another free tool, if this is all that you'd like, it's always good to go to, let's say, my website, which is bramlagru.com, and download the PDF of my ebook called Selling Is Out, Create Buying. It's a great reference if it's the first time kind of in business development. But they also, if you're a seasoned professional, again, people have sung praise of this valuable resource from, novices all the way through very senior executives in business development businesses. Okay. What are you going to get if you would jump on board? Well, this is one of those, it's always a bit hard to make this really come out, but this is one of the resources. This is another resource for people that really are into communication. It's one of our most successful sub-programs on itself, and it's just incorporated into the Business Development Accelerator. Once, as I said again, it's an A to Z business development success system. But here's the thing. How is this all different? This is really different for the following reasons. Most business development training that is provided elsewhere is all coming in from a mindset that there is one way, one system, one process, one approach. And I'm here to share with you that if you put the numbers to it, that you're automatically shooting yourself in the foot and self-sabotaging your outcomes. Or equally, you're also automatically doing certain people a disservice where the approach isn't catered for them. And instead of trying to do one approach, you really want to have 4 different approaches. Know who you're dealing with. Read your audience. Read your buyers well. And then give him the treatment. Give him the style. Give him the approach that is conducive for them to feel comfortable along the way, to build trust, to see value, to understand where you're coming from, and appreciate what you're putting in front of them, so that they're creating urgency as well and want to make the changes required. So that is really the whole science of it, which again, Business Development Accelerator is designed to help you do. Treat people the way that they want to be treated, rather than treat people the way that you personally might want to be treated. Or even worse, just do a drill because somebody in some organization said that was the right way to do it. You know what? That's 80s thinking. We didn't know any better back in the 80s, but now in 2022, we know so much more from neuroscience, physiology, psychology, and all these other sciences that are all about human behavior. human behavior is predictable. You can read it, you can program it, and you can work with it rather than against it. And I see too many people working against it if they don't really have the very tools and system that we provide in our training and coaching program. Anyway, I've been talking for a long time. I'm mindful of this, so I'm not going to do it any longer. But once again, highly encourage you to take up your all access pass today. Reason being, today is Thursday, tomorrow is Friday. We will be closing the doors to the Business Development Accelerator and all the resources that we have created around it to show you that what we're doing has value and that what we're doing can help you as well. So all the lessons in terms of, the lessons that we created in the All Access Pass are all available for you to download and watch at bramlagru.com/all-access-pass if it didn't show up in the feed yet. So that's where you can find a lot of extra resources. And again, on my website, you can also download my book for free. Should I see you soon in the Accelerator? I look forward to that. I appreciate your time watching us today. Appreciate also any thoughts or comments or questions below this video. And we'll keep, let's say, up with the pace. Tomorrow, I'll be back for another episode in LinkedIn here, Facebook, and YouTube. And then we'll be closing the doors and start working with our new members. So anyway, wishing you a great day ahead. Thanks again for joining, and I'll see you again soon. My name is Bram.